Hamcation 2024, we're here with Alpha Antennas and Steve, and he's going to show us some new antennas. Well, new to me, new that I have not talked about yet. You guys might recognize the Hex Tenna up there. It's got a new gray base. The one on my video where I did Parks on the Air with it on 20 meters in Galveston had a black base, so that's been updated. So Steve, thanks for taking the time today.
Good morning.
Tell us what you got today.
Okay, well, as you pointed out, the gray absorbs heat a lot less, and it's an ASA carbon fiber infused polymer now.
Okay.
And this is new because we were able to upgrade our 20 3D printers to print the material properly. It takes about a 300 degree head to do this, and now with our 450 millimeter per second printers, we're able to crank out about 400 of these per week. This is actually a dipole out here, and it can extend out to 34 feet and gives you resonance from 440 megahertz to 7.0 megahertz. The 40 meter band, and so basically that's 440, 222 through 40 meters. And to get you 40 meters, there's a clip that goes on the corona ball, and you put a wire there. But at the 34 feet on the dipole, you get 20 meters. This is also configurable as a vertical if you move one of the whips to here. I'll give you a counterpoise for that.
And there's a great, so I've got 3 or 4 manufacturers that make these stainless steel whips, and they're all great. But there's a grade of stainless steel you said you used for yours.
Right. So there's 316, 308.
Yeah.
But we always use 316 stainless steel hardware and 308 on the whips. So the stainless steel is top notch.
Top notch stainless steel. So, okay. All right. Cool. What else?
So we have an off-center fed dipole over here. This system has one half the antenna here, the other half of the antenna here. Part of this half is the vertical. This is a 25-foot wire over on this side with
That's
the wrap.
some pretty beefy wire you got there.
That's some beefy wire. That's the 500 tensile strength wire.
Okay.
And then the balun is in the center, just like an off-center fed dipole.
Sure.
Two elements on either side, balun in the center with a coax connector. Nothing magical, just an off-center fed dipole in a genius configuration.
And this is like what's the 7 3/4 mount for the standard like hamstick style mount?
There's 2 different mounts underneath here. So you have a 3/8/24 standard amateur radio mount thread, and then you have a 1/4 20 also.
Oh,
so 1/4 20 is your standard photography tripod, or if you have a telescope tripod. These are just standards in the industry where if you have the tripod, don't spend the extra money with us. Go ahead and just get an antenna, and then you can put this on what you have.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. This I hadn't seen that you were showcasing this one yesterday, and I was like, that's one I hadn't seen before. So let's just get a video of it. So.
Well, some of the things that we're sort of famous for is how we get things in a small package. This antenna system and the tripod, with all of the cabling, and there's still enough room left over for any QRP rig that's made to go in this bag. So the entire antenna system will go in that bag with the tripod, your radio, your coax, and all of this.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
Magnetic loop, still incredibly 100 watts, and we've had it out for many years now. The new addition on the top here is an SWR sounder. The instructions are on the back. And this will convert RF to DC.
Okay.
And the reason we want that to happen is when you place this on the mag loop and you tune for maximum RF, this will pick up that RF when you're tuned, and that sounder will go beep. So if you are blind, this is what developed for those who are sight impaired.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Get it?
That's great. Yeah, no, that's wonderful. Okay, yeah. I get that question on a lot of videos about, well, I'm a blind ham, how do I do X, Y, Z? So that's good. That's good. That's a common question I get. So.
Well, for POTA, this is 1 ounce, about 1.2 ounces.
Okay.
And you don't have to carry an analyzer. So you
Good
put that
point.
there, and you've got your sounder.
Okay.
For whenever you want to go to tune 10 through 80 meters, which the loop will do 10 through 80 meters. And then we have another loop coming out which has braille on it. And then, of course, the braille then will be very usable for those who are sight impaired as well. We just have a heart to keep care of those who have served us, and a lot of people that have been to war are injured. My own sons, like one, you see somebody's in a wheelchair, and how does a person in a wheelchair deploy an antenna? Well, if you are in a wheelchair here, you are able to reach this antenna.
Right.
We made it even a little more possible. when you go ahead and turn the crank. And now it's right here beside you.
Okay.
And then you can crank it back up.
Okay.
We always try to just think about these things. Use our heart, not just our head, when we design these systems.
Sure.
Another of the things that I know you wanted to see was this antenna here.
That was a neat antenna.
So this here, if we have any military that watch your video, then what we do with this is it is for ALE in the amateur world, but it's for digital encrypted spread spectrum traffic.
Okay.
And it has a 1,000 mile radius, so a 2,000 mile zone of coverage. So that outside of that range, your opponent, your enemy, whatever you want to call it, isn't hearing you. Amateur radio, they're like, hey, we want to contact Japan. Well, it's great if you're up at that hour, and it's great if you think that if you need to contact Japan after an emergency, that's great. But a lot of times you just want to contact regional for regional MCOM. That's this antenna.
Okay. More like, more similar to NVIS.
Very much like NVIS. It's a capacity hat design, so it has a perfect omnidirectional signal. And so you don't have to worry about if someone in one direction or the other is hearing you. You've got it covered from your base of operations, from your command center. The tripod, obviously, is one of the things that we're most famous for. This is the Eagle Talon tripod.
Yeah.
We call it the HT tripod also. It's got all kinds of nicknames. It's been out for so long. It withstands 50 mile per hour winds when upright, and 90 mile per hour winds when the legs are fully extended out on the deck.
Okay.
Because these will lay out flat. And it has a 3/8 24 hex net at the top. A lot of people buy just the tripod for other antenna systems. So this is something for serious consideration for a serious operator.
Cool. That's the tripod you sent me with the Hex Tenna, and it worked very well on the beach next to the saltwater for parks in the air.
Right. Yeah. So that 34-foot antenna goes and works well on this tripod.
Yeah, it does.
And so that's just pure evidence, pure empirical evidence that this tripod is ready to be deployed. No matter what your scenario.
Good. Well, how's the show been for you so far?
Yesterday was Friday.
Right.
It's 7:30 or so in the morning on Saturday right now. We just took inventory, and 40% of our inventory sold on Friday.
Well, that's
it's amazing.
Yeah.
The show has been fun. There's Gordon West.
Yeah.
And all of the people have just been so hospitable here with the crew at the Orlando Hamcation. I've got my form ready to fill out and be here next year.
Good, good. Well, you'll probably sell the rest of that today, I bet.
Probably so.
Saturdays are typically more busy than Fridays are, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Thanks for your time this morning, Steve. Hope you have a good show.
Thank you. My pleasure.